This is the modified A final Aldershot, September the 1st, 2019, first round. Olly Jefferies pole from Elliot Harper, Zak Smith, Ben Cosgrove, Chris Granger, Harley Aldridge, Trish Aston, Glenn Westwood, Matthew White and Paul Pinkley in 10th. 30 seconds to go. That'll be, the first two cards are both white, and then it's yellow, and then the rest of the field, so those are the three to watch. Just can't get them in, just about there. Oh, Marshall's going to be in the way. Here we go, 8, 7. And they're away. 1, 2, 3. Into the hairpin. Ollie, Elliot, Zak. Oh, Elliot's trying to make a move. Didn't quite make it into the chicane. Down the straight they go. White, white, yellow, and the rest of the field. Ollie, Elliot, and Zak. Oh, big crash from Paul Pinkley and someone else on the straight. They've got going again. Here they come. So it's Ollie and Zak and Ben. And he's really flying. So Elliot's dropped to third, so Zak is the yellow car. It's just coming through the infield now. White, yellow, white. Under the rostrum, into the chicane. Ben Cosgrove's in 4th, Chris Granger 5th, Matt White has moved from 9th to 6th, Harley's got from 6th to 7th, Paul Pink is 8th, Chris Ashton is down to 9th, Glenn Westwood's at the back at the moment. Just over 1 minute gone. The white car of Olly Jefferies comes onto the straight, followed by very close Zak and Elliot, nose to tail, into the sweeper. We've got one back knuckle between them, but Ollie's over a second ahead at the moment through the chicane. The other two onto the straight, nose to tail. They've got a light green car just in front of them. Oh, and Elliot's trying to get past. It's very close, right on this bump into the chicane. He needs a mistake to get through. He definitely looks quicker. Oh, he's up the inside, but he made it stick. He did make it stick. Elliot passed on Zak. Oh, and Zak touched. Oh, he's lucky. He rolled it back onto his roof, so he's lost a bit of time. Ben Cosgrove, 4 seconds behind the leader, and then it's Chris Granger at 6 seconds. Matt White, 8 seconds, with Harley right with him. Then Paul at 12. Chris Ashton and Glenn Westwood pulled out. So Olly Jefferies now 3 seconds ahead onto the straight in the white car. Now Elliot in the white car, followed by the yellow car. Zak and Ben Cosgrove is right with him as well. The first 4, and then Chris Granger set 6 seconds back from the leader. So 1, 2, 3, coming round to the rostrum now. There's first place, second place, third place and 4th place, so they're very close, and Chris Granger is a bit further back on the straight, and then Matt White at 9 seconds with Harley just behind him, and Paul, who had a crash at the start, is in 8th, and Chris Ashton's behind him. Glenn's pulled out. Just gone past 3 minutes. Onto the straight goes Ollie, 3 seconds ahead of Elliot now. Elliot's just coming up on Paul Pinkley to lap him. Oh, Paul spins at 360, braking heavily there, and just lost it at the back end, but he's going back in behind Elliot. Zak Smith has dropped to 5 seconds in the yellow car behind the leader, going round the sweeper. Then it's Ben Cosgrove, a second behind him. Chris Granger's less than a second behind Ben Cosgrove now. And then they've dropped Harley and Matt, who are running nose to tail. 4 minutes gone. Ollie whizzes down the straight, followed by Elliot at 2.9 seconds, Zak Smith at 6 seconds, and Ben Cosgrove 6.69 seconds, Chris Granger 7.48 seconds, so they're pretty close, but Ollie's now 2.76 seconds. Elliot is clawing back, but there's no time, there's half a minute to go. It's going to be Ollie coming through. Elliot 2.7, he just can't do it. He's holding him at 2.7 seconds, and Zak is at 6. Zak got Ben Cosgrove still right behind him.
Okay, darling, just a reminder, there's a 15-minute break between the round and next.
So 15 seconds to go. Ollie's at 2.6 seconds ahead of Elliot. Zak 6.78 seconds behind with Ben Cosgrove, Chris Granger close behind them. So going on to the last lap goes cars 1 and 2. 3's going to finish. 3 finishes, Zak Smith in 3rd, Ben 4th, Chris Granger 5th. We're just waiting for the first 2 got onto that extra lap, and Ollie finishes now, and Elliot finishes 2.5 seconds behind in the end. So the result was Ollie from Elliot, Zak, Ben, Chris Granger, Holly Eldridge, Matthew White, Paul Pinkley, Chris Ashton and Glenn Westwood.
Okay, chaps, 15-minute break, and then we go back to round 2, race 1.
This is the BRCA national final of the whole series 2019. This is Aldershot versus September. This is the second and final race of the day, modified A final. On pole, Olly Jefferies from Elliot Harper,
Okay,
Zak Smith, Ben Cosgrove, Chris Granger, Holly Eldridge, Chris Ashton, Glenn Westwood, Matthew White and Paul Pinkley. The lead car colours, the first 2 are white, which makes it a bit difficult. Olly Jefferies, Elliot Harper both white, then it's a yellow car, green car, a pink car and the rest of the field. So the first 3 will be Ollie, Elliot and Zak will be the ones to watch, and if Ollie wins this, I believe he wins the whole series, so might be some really hard driving in this. Ollie, Elliot and Zak. Here we go, 10, 8, 7, 6. Ollie, Elliot, Zak got away clean into the bottom. Hairpin there through. Most of the field got through very clean indeed this time. Here they come, the 2 white cars lead, 1st, 2nd and 3rd, and then a bit of an accident behind. So 1st, 2nd and 3rd have already pulled ahead of Ben Cosgrove by a little bit, and then they pull ahead again with the rest of the field. So 2 white cars onto the straight, that's Ollie from Elliot, then Zak in the yellow, and then it's Ben Cosgrove, and Chris Ashton's moved up a place to 5th. So it's across the line they come, Ollie from Elliot, Zak, then it's Ben Cosgrove, Chris Ashton, Matthew White, Chris Granger, Holly Eldridge, Paul Pinkley and Glenn Westwood. The white car went off, was it? That white car went off on the sweep and must have been Elliot Harper, so he's out of it now. So it's Olly Jefferies now 2 seconds ahead of Zak Smith from Ben Cosgrove. Chris Ashton's moved up to 4th, Chris Granger 5th, Matthew White's 6th, Holly Eldridge 7th, Elliot's 8th. Oh, it's been a bit of an accident in the chicane. No. Onto the straight, very cautious, Olly Jefferies going over the curb. But he's so far ahead of Zak Smith in the yellow car now, he doesn't need to go too hard. So into the chicane comes the leader, Olly Jefferies, car number 1. Yellow car, Zak Smith, followed closely by Ben Cosgrove now. Then it's Matt White having a much better race, 9th on the grid up to 4th, but he's got Holly Eldridge who's really going well, right with him. They're dicing for 4th and 5th. Elliot Harper's recovered to 6th, in the white car, and he's closing down those 2, but I don't think he's going to get much further. So Olly Jefferies leads by 2.66 seconds, just going down the straight now, followed by Zak Smith, who's about 2nd ahead of Ben Cosgrove, but they're well ahead of Matthew White, who's 7.5 seconds behind the leader. That's just over 2 minutes gone. Olly Jefferies onto the straight, then followed by 2nd and 3rd. And They're way ahead now of the rest of the field. Matt White, Harley Eldridge, Elliot Harper hasn't got past Harley at all. And then Chris Ashton, Chris Granger, Paul Pinkley and Glenn pulled out. Onto the straight goes, I think that's third or fourth, fifth and sixth. They're pretty close together. That's Matthew, Harley and Elliot. And Elliot is going to make a move, I believe, on Harley in a minute. As they come into the chicane now, there's Elliot in the white car just behind Harley. Anyway, the lead car, he's coming up on back markers down the straight. In fact, he's coming up on Paul Pinkley in the orange car. He moves over and lets him through. Then he's coming up behind two more cars. So the white car of Olly Jefferies coming under the Rossum, they move over through the chicane very nicely. Second place is early on the straight now. Zak Smith and Ben Cosgrove right behind him. Then it's Matt White, Elliot Harper, Harley Eldridge. So Elliot's got past Harley and he's probably right onto Matt White now. And he just passed Matt White at the hairpin off the sweeper. So that'd be Elliot up to fourth. Onto the straight he goes. But he's half a lap behind. Olly's going down the straight now, followed by Zak at 4 seconds behind. Then Ben Cosgrove just behind him. Elliot's at 10 seconds behind the leader. And it's Matt White and Harley Eldridge just side by side on into the sweeper. And they touch. And I think that is Harley who came off work and spun into the barrier. And then it's Chris Granger, Chris Ashton, Paul Pinkley. 4 minutes, 1 minute to go. Olly Jefferies doesn't even need to try now. He's nearly 5 seconds ahead of Zak Smith. So unless someone crashes off or something happens, there's no way he's going to lose this. That means he'll win the championship. So car one leads, going onto the straight now. And where's Zak Smith? He's only going onto the straight now. He's 5 seconds behind. And it's Ben Cosgrove, Elliot Harper, Matt White, Chris Granger, Chris Ashton, Harley Eldridge, who spun off and Paul Pinkley and Glenn. Half a minute to go. There's just no contest now. He's just going to cruise home, I would say. He's 5 seconds ahead of Zak Smith. The thing is, if he goes too slow, he could make an error. So he found the sweeper off the bottom hairpin. On the infield is Olly Jefferies. Zak Smith is still 5 seconds behind. Second from Ben Cosgrove, Elliot Harper and Matt White. And it's coming to the end now, and they're going to cross the line. Zak Smith gets second, Ben Cosgrove third. Elliot gets fourth, rating them just across the line. Olly Jefferies wins, comes first. Matt White was fifth, Chris Granger sixth, Chris Ashton seventh, Harley was eighth, Paul was ninth, Glenn Westwood was 10th. There's the results. Harley won by over 5 seconds from Ben. So Olly Jefferies finishes first, Zak Smith overall was second. So that's the end of all the racing, it's just the trophy presentations. Go.
On to the modified A final. In third place, Elliot Harper. Yeah, you're third. Yeah. In second place, Zak Smith. That's right, winner of the modified class and also TQ for the day, Olly Jefferies.
Okay, third place, Zak Smith.
He stayed the same.
Second place, Elliot Harper.
I don't know who's a placement and cheap, but there you go, make it.
Again, I'm sure he's a voted future champion. Olly Jefferies.
Give it.